Welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name's Javier, and inside this channel we create DIY projects from woodworking to sewing. But for today's woodworking series, we are transforming my window. Yes, this window is going to be transformed into a little miniature accent wall. Lately I've been seeing these accent walls on the internet, and I really want to do a smaller version just because there's no more room in my room. So let's just jump into the video and show you how you can achieve this project by transforming your window. One of the very first things I'm going to be doing is, of course, taking down the window shades or the curtains. And I'm actually going to be keeping this here. This is going to be stayed put. Shorten the curtains, of course. I have a little sample piece right here from a previous project, and I'm going to place it on top of here. And this is going to be the height. And then I'm going to add the additional piece of the plate that's going to be attached to the wood, which will be right here. So I'm going to measure from here to this piece 4 inches approximately. The measurement of my window is 35 by 47. However, we're going to add 2 inches to each side on the top and the bottom. And we're going to add an additional 4 inches at the top and the bottom for the sides. So the total will be 39 by 55 inches. We are going to be using this scrap piece of wood. It is a little chopped off, but we're going to use 55 inches this way and use whatever is from this side to this side. I'm also going to be using this piece of scrap wood and this one here, which are the cleats. You can make these by cutting out a 4-inch piece of plywood, and then you're gonna cut them at a 45-degree angle just so they match and fit in perfectly. This is 3 1/4 inch plywood, and these are 3 1/4 inch plywood, so you can make it out of the scrap piece of wood to create these cleats. Now I'm going to look for any studs up against the wall where I can nail down my cleat wall. I got 79 3/4, but I'm going to be using 40 as my center point. So that will be my center. We're going to screw in that first, and after that, we're going to screw in the rest of them in and make sure it's all level. We're going to make sure it's all nice and level. I'm just going to pre-hole some drills. Pre-drill some holes, excuse me. Now that this is all installed, we're going to continue on and making the panels for the window. I'm gonna grab my French cleat and match the ends, and I'm gonna go in at least a 1/4 inch. The width of this piece is 23 inches and a half, and I need to subtract that from 39, which is going to be the width that I want. So subtracting that, we're going to need to cut a piece out that's going to be 15 inches and a half. So I have this set to 15 and a half, and I'm going to cut out the next piece. Now we're going to be creating a similar design to this, and instead of adding pieces of wood that will make this look, I'm going to be using my saw, and I'm going to make sure it hits the wood like at least a 1/4 inch deep so it doesn't go all the way through and starts making the lines. Right now I have my level, and I'm just going to be making lines across, up and down. Alrighty, so here we are the next day, and I drew all the lines that I'm going to be using my track saw. I'm going to be doing this line first just because it matches all the way across. However, for all the other individual lines, I'm going to grab this piece and line it up, and I'm going to set my saw at least 1/4 inch below than the level so it doesn't go all the way through the wood. It just notches it in at least like a 1/4 inch, and it gives it that look like there's some sort of separation. I did a little sample right here. As you can see, it's scorched at least through one of the ties, which is perfect. You don't want to do anything more where it's going to weaken the wood and split. So this is perfect. Let's continue. Alright, so our first line is completed. Now we're going to separate the wood into each line individually just so we don't accidentally go through the other wood. all my lines have been sawed on or scorched, or I don't know what the term is, I'm gonna go in with my 120 orbit sander and sand the surface of this area just to get rid of the little splinters that are going on. But we also want a nice smooth surface so we can lay down the paint. Now we're going to be painting the backside, and we're going to do about 2 coats of this. Now I'm going to go in with the color Nightclub and use the paintbrush to go in between the cracks. Using the number 8 1¼ inch screws to screw in the cleats onto the piece of wood. You want to make sure they're cut the same length. Go in by doing the first one, make sure it's level, and then screw in the other 2. One thing I began to notice is, as you can see, there's like this odd type of paint texture here and here. So what I'm going to do is go with my orbit sander and start sanding everything down and kind of just strip the paint off to get rid of that layer and repaint everything again. When the light hits it inside my room, it doesn't look good, so I think I'm just going to have to repaint the whole thing. After that, you want to go over the surface with a damp cloth and remove all the excess dust that's on the surface. One of the things I would have done differently inside this project, I would have probably used a 1/2 inch piece of plywood instead of 3/4 inches, just because the panels are a little bit heavy to move, but not too much. That would just take off some weight, and I would also have done less than 1/4 inch deep slits into the wood, just so I wasn't having such a difficult time painting inside the little cracks. But overall, this is the final project. I hope you guys enjoyed this project as much as I did. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more DIY projects. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.